Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast with your host, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Cody Jansen, and welcome to episode 26 of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast presented by CST Tires. This is an exciting episode because we're going racing. As we record this, a week from now, we'll be in Georgia at Dantonio Pass for the season opener of the ATV Motocross Nationals. Finally, it's safe to race, so that's what we'll be doing the weekend of May 23rd and 24th. Tonight, we'll be joined by Tim Cotter, Vice President and Event Coordinator of MX Sports, who was an insider on the decision to return to racing. We'll talk to him about the ins and outs of all this, the hurdles of making this happen, and what to expect when you get to the races. Super excited to get a guy of such high stature on our podcast. We'll also be joined by Evil Coffee Company's Ross Dantonio, and you'll really enjoy this interview. He talks about his background in ATV racing, his path to creating a super cool brand, and give you some marketing, self-promotion, and sponsorship tips along the way. Super good interview there. And overall, a ton of great info in this episode tonight, especially if you're heading down to Georgia. But before we dig too deep, let's thank all the incredible sponsors that make this show possible. Thanks to our title sponsor, CST Tires, CSTTires.com. The Pulse MXR tire is the best tire on the market no matter what the terrain. Join the CST takeover today or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground. Thank you to Motorsports Powerhouse and show sponsor, Yamaha. We are proud to be partnered with the winningest manufacturer of the past decade in ATV motocross and the #1 OEM supporter of ATV racing. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is Team Blue Crew. Thank you, Yamaha. Check them out at YamahaOutdoors.com. Thanks to another member of Racing Royalty and longtime sponsor of my personal racing efforts, Valvoline. For over 150 years, Valvoline has been dedicated to innovating and improving your riding and driving experience. The world's oldest oil company still leads the charge with unrivaled products and lubricants. Thanks to Team Valvoline for coming on board. Thank you to SSI Decals. SSI Decals is the decal choice of champions everywhere and is a name synonymous with the best decals and graphics kits on the market. Their track record speaks for itself. Champions choose SSI Decals for unmatched look and quality. Thanks to those guys. Check them out today at ssidecals.com. It's an absolute honor to be partnered with Wienen Motorsports. We all know him as one of the toughest competitors ATV motocross has ever seen, and Chad Wienen has built a great business within the industry as well. The same products he handpicked to help him win 6 AMA ATV Pro National Championships are available to you through Wienen Motorsports. Simply put, he races what he sells. So head over to WienenMotorsports.com to see everything that they have to offer and use promo code DIGDEEP to save at checkout. Thanks to Chad Wienen and Wienen Motorsports for further legitimizing everything we're doing here at Digging Deep. It's an absolute honor. Thank you to DID Racing Chain and the 520 ATV2 X-Ring Chain. Team USA, Joel Hetrick, and myself all trusted DID's unrivaled chain quality to championship victory this past season. Wherever you go with DID. We are proud to be partnered with Gripped Gloves. Gripped is an ATV rider owned and operated brand with the rider in mind and keeping costs affordable the goal. This Michigan-based family operation is here to push stereotypes and limitations while recognizing riders' desire to showcase their identity with eccentric colorways and crazy patterns. Gripped is driven to produce a glove with cool colors and designs that won't break the bank. So get a grip on life. Check them out today at grippedgloves.com. That's GRIPT gloves.com and use discount code DIGGINGDEEP10 to save. Thank you, Namura Technologies. Namura, pistons with an attitude. Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market since 2001 with their wide array of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits. Visit your local dealer or online at namura.com. That's NAMURA.com. And also a big thanks to Bronco ATV and UTV components. Bronco has been the industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. Whether it's electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, suspension parts or bearing kits, Bronco is your hard parts source when it comes to whatever you need for whatever you ride. BroncoATV.com. Thanks to Floorworks Carbon for their continued support. Known for their hoods, seat covers, array of carbon parts, and so much more, Floorworks is your one-stop shop to give your ATV a new and improved look with increased function for this new season. Head over to their social media pages or website today, thanks to Floorworks Carbon. Thanks as always to Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant. Upgrade to Evans now to avoid overheating and boilover next time you hit the track. When conditions are at their worst, Evans is at its best. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 to save at checkout, evanscoolant.com. Thanks to DP Brakes, the unquestioned leader in motorsports and power sports braking. DP is the brand responsible for allowing Joel Hetrick, myself, and so many others to outbrake the competition every time we hit the racetrack. It's not too late to join the team, so act fast. www.dp-brakes.com. Thanks to Blenders Eyewear, whose Life and Forward Motion brand is the perfect fit to partner with our podcast. You won't find better shades for a more attractive price anywhere else. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 to save on the trendiest shades on the market, blenderseyewear.com. Thanks to Oats Overnight. Life is hard. Make breakfast easy. Simply combine with milk before bed and enjoy your to-go breakfast in the morning. Overnight oatmeal loaded with superfoods, perfect for athletes. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP10 to save at checkout, oatsovernight.com. Thanks to Mountaineer Brand. If you know me, you know I love my beard. That's why I treat it right with Mountaineer Brand's all-natural washes, oils, balms, and more. Use discount code CODY'sFave in all caps, that's CODYSFAV, Cody's Fave, at mountaineerbrand.com. Thanks to Avocado Green Mattresses. The Avocado mattress offers zone back support with an internal support unit, meaning whether you're recovering from a hard day of riding or relaxing on a Sunday morning, you will be experiencing next-level comfort. With a 100-night sleep trial, free shipping and return pickups, and a 25-year warranty, getting your Avocado Green mattress could not be any easier. Step up your sleep game by visiting avocadomattress.com. We are also proud to be partnered with Factory 43. Since 2007, this racer-owned company has been striving to offer a quality product that installs easy, looks good, and holds up over time, producing bumpers, grab bars, Nerf bars, and other accessories. For 2020, Factory 43 is the aluminum parts choice of the Phoenix Racing Honda team, providing riders like Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Chris Borch, and Grayson Eller with motocross and cross-country versions of their Evo, Nerf bar, and MX-style bumpers. Head over to factory43atv.com to see their full line of products. Thanks to Factory 43 for coming on board. We are proud of our newest show sponsor, Bikes, Trikes, and Quads, LLC. Celebrating their 10-year anniversary this month, the company was started by former racers selling three-wheeler parts out of a barn in upstate New York. Through hard work, accompanied by offering great service to their customers, BTQ LLC now has over 40,000 new and used parts in stock, but they haven't forgot their roots, still offering OEM parts for three-wheelers, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides. Parts are in stock and ready to ship with delivery within 3 days, including free shipping on orders over $50. Use discount code ATVMX at www.btqllc.com for $10 off orders of $50 or more. We're grateful to have Bikes, Trikes, and Quads LLC digging deep with us. Support our industry's small businesses during these difficult times. Thank you, BTQ LLC. And finally, you know what's coming next. We are proud of our partnership with Roman Health. Americans are forced to wait 29 days on average to see a doctor in major U.S. cities. If you're dealing with a condition like erectile dysfunction, you want treatment ASAP. That's why our friends at Roman have spent years building a digital platform to connect you with a licensed doctor in your state from the comfort of your own home. Roman makes it convenient to get the treatment you need on your schedule. Just grab your phone or computer, complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. If the doctor decides that treatment is right for you, Roman's Pharmacy will ship your medication to you with free 2-day shipping. Plus, there are no commitments, and you can cancel anytime with Roman. If you're struggling with ED, go to getroman.com/digging for your free online visit and 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/digging for your free online visit and free 2-day shipping. From our new partners to our original sponsors, thanks for supporting the #1 podcast in ATV racing and for making this dream a reality for both us and our listeners. We pride ourselves in partnering with only the best brands inside and outside of the industry, so better your riding experience and your lifestyle by supporting the sponsors who support us. If you enjoy the show, the best thing you can do is support our sponsors. And if you're interested in becoming a partner of the show, shoot me a message or email today for more details. We are running a discounted partnership rate to assist small businesses during these tough times. So message or email us today to keep your brand relevant. Once again, thanks to all of our sponsors. And now we're here with Tim Cotter, who is brought to you by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 X-Ring chain. It's super cool to have such a high-ranking figure on our show. So Tim, welcome. Thanks for your willingness to give us a little of your time.
You know, it is my pleasure. I'm not sure the high-ranking figure is the right description, but I'm blessed to be on it, and I'm blessed to be a part of the ATV Racing Nation.
Awesome. Well, it is it's an exciting time for us because we're going to be able to go back racing, right? So it was determined that it was safe to race for the ATV Motocross National next weekend. But before we get into that, maybe explain to my listeners the formation and the role that the Safer to Race task force played in all this, because that's something that you guys are taking a lot of pride in.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure pride is the right word, but you know, the last time we saw you, we were at Daytona International Speedway and kicked off the 2020 season, and it was phenomenal. What a great weekend and week we had at Speed Week at Daytona. And yeah, we had heard of the coronavirus, and we were all maybe passing a joke here and there about the virus, and that's about the time that we started not to shake hands, and some did. Now, that awkward time, you know, remember that?
No, yeah.
It seems like it was a year ago, and it was, you know, what, 8 or 9 weeks ago. And then we came to Georgia, to Ionia Pass for GNCC. And things were starting to get a little more difficult. Big sporting venues were falling left and right, and series were you know, banning and stopping, and all of a sudden we all, on our way back from Daytona, started to get a little bit of the deer in the headlight look, right?
Yep.
So we made it to Ionia Pass, and we had our GNCC race here, and it was super stressful. Are we doing the right thing? Are we putting anyone in harm's way? Is this really dangerous? Is it true? The governors were starting to close states down, and I became glued to this very seat where I am right now, because today I'm at Ionia Pass,
right? Yep.
In the exact same spot I was back in the middle of March.
Okay.
And we waited and watched, and just the whole world fell apart, right?
Yeah, it sure
and
did.
We got that race done. The checkered flag came out, and we all went back to our homes, and we went back to West Virginia. And on the way back to West Virginia, our governor closed our state.
Okay.
And which we thought was like, what, a week? Yeah, we'll see you in a week. You know, we're all tired anyway. It's okay. And but certainly wasn't the case. And to this day, our office is yet to reopen. A couple of us have sprinkled in and out of the building, and things are starting to get better. But recall, just try to rewind to that day or that time and how things were going. And we were like, oh my gosh, you know, this is really happening. Yeah. And if you recall why we were here at GNCC, the Daytona 200, which is one of the longest standing motorsports events in time, was suspended. The Daytona Flat Track suspended. The Supercross in Indianapolis, where the track was already built, the lights were already focused, the cameras were already hooked up, stopped.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep. And
so all of our lives just came to a screeching halt. And so from that point in time, Carrie and Rita and I were traveling back to West Virginia, and we were actually in separate vehicles, and we were on the phone the whole time. I don't know how the batteries last, but and we decided, this is bigger than us. This is more than Kerry or I or any one of us can handle. And so we developed the RLT, the race leadership team. And we said that, okay, from this day forward, the race leadership team will meet Mondays at 11 a.m. and we'll do it by Zoom call.
Okay.
And on the race leadership team is Kerry. It's under the direction of Kerry Russell, and I sit on that call every week. Roy Jansen, no relation, but you've met Roy.
Oh,
Roy's usually the guy you go to the principal's office, right?
Right.
Smartest guy I know in motorsports is on that commission.
Okay.
Davey Coombs, certainly on that commission. And my oldest brother, Britt. And many of you, you've met Britt, you just don't know you've met him.
Okay.
He's the guy in staging at Daytona.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
And my oldest brother, Britt, is retired from Marathon Oil, where he was in HR, and he dealt with Marathon's crisis task force and crisis management. And he's very, very methodical, and he's a statistical guy. And so we put him on the task force, and his job is to monitor every community in which we race in and monitor what the local community is doing. How many cases do they have? How many deaths do they have? How many tests have they made? You can't imagine the spreadsheet that we have.
Okay.
And it's monitored, it's updated like every day or every other day. But things were going this way. And it got to the point, like by week 2 of the RLT, that our job was pretty easy because everything was canceled. It's a short conversation.
Yes.
We're done. Long about April 15th, we started to say, okay, how are we going to move forward? This is my livelihood. There's a lot of people that actually live and make money, and this is our life. This isn't a hobby, right?
Of course.
Although I'm so fortunate that I get to work in motorsports. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But at the end of the day, it's a job for us and for you and many other people.
Yep.
So at that point in time, we decided that us 5 are not smart enough to find our way out.
Okay.
And that the government is not going to hand us a document and say, ATV motocross, if you do this, you can go race. That's not going to happen.
Right. Of course.
So we have to find our own way out. And so we created the Safe to Race Task Force. And we expanded our race leadership team from 5 to 12.
Okay.
And another 6 hours, it became 42.
Oh, my goodness.
That was people from all across motorsports that said, this is how we're going to do it. And it's people from NASCAR. It's people from AMA Pro, Road America. It's people from the insurance sector. It's people from IT that create our softwares. And because all this has to change.
Yep.
It's medical people. There were 5 people on the medical task force that really sat down. They're not, they don't think like you and I do. And we needed people like that to say, look, this is serious, and this is how you need to do this part. And for instance, the lady in Ironman at Crawfordsville, Indiana, we've had a great relationship with Crawfordsville, Indiana. And this is why we have relationships, because when your back's against the wall, you need help. Of course. And you need to assemble an army. And Sherry Harrington is the director of the Homeland Security Department in that Montgomery County, Indiana. Very, very astute on public health and crisis management and so forth. So, you put people like Sherry on it. And then the U.S. Motorsports Association, who's a lobbyist group that works in our local communities to keep racetracks open. We're a hard sell, right?
Of course.
We're a hard sell when there is no COVID-19.
Of course.
Nobody wants to live next to us. Nobody, right?
Exactly.
And that organization, their job is to work with local governments and say, this is how come motorsports are valuable. So we bring them into the fold.
Okay.
And through that, we created a Safe to Race document, and which you've seen. And that took 2 weeks. Took 2 weeks to put that document together. You know, people like Feld Motorsports were on it, Supercross. There's no question that a lot of people know that the relationship between MX Sports and Supercross, it's not something that's been, you know, we're probably not on each other's Christmas card list.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, we know that. Yeah.
I can tell you we are now, because through this crisis, it has pulled us together, and we work together.
You've had to band together to figure this out, of course. Yes.
Everyone is an ally.
Yes.
Everybody is an ally now.
Okay.
So we pulled them all in. We developed this document, and it's an easy to read. If you've read it, if you haven't, you should.
Yep.
But it's an easy to read and a how-to step to get motorsports back running. Not just our motorsports, but all motorsports.
Yes.
And the document is available to everybody.
Yep.
It's free. There is no charge. It is to get people back racing. And
exactly.
And it's been wonderful. It really has, because as soon as the document came out, then our Loretta Lynn tracks went to work. Our pro motocross tracks have gone to work. Our ATV motocross tracks, GNCC tracks, and communities. And today, I'm sitting at Ionia Pass, and you can't see it out there, but I've got RVs coming in the gate today, right now.
Wow. Awesome.
And with protocols, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
because things are going to be different.
Right.
Make sure I get it on right.
There you go. Tim's putting on his mask right now, and yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's awesome that you have this, because some of it is to be able to go to those local governments and people of that nature, right, and be able to show them, hey, all of our bases are covered. We know how to handle this. That's part of this document,
and
correct?
It's written in their language.
Okay.
It is exactly what the document is. And if someone walked in the door and said, hey, Cody, write me a report on how to wash your hands.
Okay.
You'd say, okay, duh. You turn the thing over there and you get this and you scrub here. But so that document had to be written in such a manner that bureaucracy and bureaucrats and governments can look and say, hey, okay, yeah, you got that covered.
Okay.
You got this covered. Yep. And so that's the reason you have the Sherry Harringtons on it. We got a lady, and how cool is our sport? Because in 1982, at the first Loretta Lynn's Amateur National Championship, there was a lady that came to race. Nobody's ever heard of her. She didn't do very well.
Okay.
Her name is Dr. Nona Coburn.
Okay.
Dr. Nona Coburn now works for the National Institute of Health.
Oh,
she is a government bureaucracy bureaucrat, and I don't say that in a bad way.
No, right.
She does these things. And so I called Nona and said, Doc, I need your help. Tim, what do you need? Well, I need you to sit on this commission and give me advice. Tell me the number. I'm calling in. I'm in.
Wow.
And she volunteered. By no means do I have the National Institute of Health on our commission. I've got a volunteer that raced with us 38 years ago.
Right. Bringing her background into your group and all of her knowledge. So that makes so much sense.
And she understands.
Right.
And so the Safe to Race document, then once it's done, it's been downloaded by, hundreds of racetracks around the country. We encourage them to use them. We encourage them to figure out a way to get back racing. And awesome. So from that, we sent it to Ionia Pass. And again, I encourage all racers, your ATV racers and GNCC racers, but all racers to appreciate what communities are doing, because Ionia Pass here in Washington, Georgia, their county commissioner said, man, we've got to get back to work.
Yep. We've
got to figure out a way. And just think for a minute, if you went to your local track, you're out in
Wisconsin.
Texas, Wisconsin. So you're Wisconsin, that your government is very strict.
Yeah. They extended our safer at home order today.
So can you imagine going to your local racetrack in Wisconsin And that guy, that local racetrack, knocking on the door of the county commission saying, hey, I want to race. And they lean across the table and they say, what is your infectious disease policy?
And that's when you quit.
Game's over.
Right. Yep.
Right? It's over for me, and I do this full time.
Right. So insert the document. That's where you're going with this.
Yeah. You know what
Yep.
an infectious disease policy is? It's to have a tent.
Exactly.
We got to have an isolation tent.
Okay.
We got to have an HEIC. That's a health executive in charge.
Okay.
And so that if someone were sick, they have a place to go that is quarantined and they can be assessed and dealt with.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Sure. Yeah.
But an infectious disease policy, I'm done.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So
of course.
in layman's terms, it helps us go back to work. And I simplify this thing. It isn't that easy, but it's our goal that this document will get not just us running, but all racetracks running.
Right. It's not that easy, but it's achievable. That's what you're saying. So
We hope. We think.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you Sunday, okay?
Right. So you kind of talked about the Safer to Race Task Force. I wanted to be able to talk about that first so that people knew all of the efforts and the people and everything that went into this. And then if we talk specifically about ATV racing, I want to talk about specifically what went into making this ATV race next weekend happen at Aonia Pass where you are now, because the event changed locations. I'm sure, you guys were working frantically on very little time. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So we once we realized we were in this downward spiral and we shook our heads and said, oh God, what are we going to do? And we figured out that, well, we're not going to quit.
Okay.
We're not quitters.
No.
And the best way through a crisis is right through the middle. No left turns, no right turns, no exit signs. Don't turn around and go back. We got to go right through the middle.
Okay.
So we said, okay, we are going to go racing in a community that allows us to safely go racing first.
Okay.
So we then started on the radar and look at what state is being, is things working out.
Yep.
And Georgia is one of the front runners, right?
Yes.
So we were scheduled to go to Indiana. This is an audio, not a video, but Indiana has a report out that gives us a timeline. And the timeline did not fit. We were not going to be able to race in Indiana, but we will get to race in Indiana soon.
Okay.
So long as the numbers continue to go the same, there is a definitive timeline in Indiana that allows us to do our activities.
Right. So some of that was like a week by week expansion with their numbers, right? That's how Indiana worked. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And we're still we couldn't go race there today.
No. Right.
In Indiana, but we can go race there in June.
Okay.
And then in July, we can race there with even different rules. And hopefully September, there are even different rules. So,
of course, yes.
So we knew that we lost the Indiana ATV National. We knew we were going to lose that.
Yep.
But if this thing works the way we think it's going to work at GNCC, and that's where we are now,
yep.
Then why not stay? It's a motocross track, so we're going to stay. And the folks in Washington, Georgia, Wilkes County were very, very favorable. The schedule isn't out for the Loretta Lynn regionals yet, but more than likely we're going to be coming here for a Loretta Lynn regional. So this community is going to get 3 races out of this situation.
Okay.
That's all very, very good.
Of course.
And we're very, very fortunate to be able to do that. And you guys won't believe this place. It looks, I can tell you, I got here yesterday, about this time yesterday.
Okay.
And at 3:00 this morning, the landowner was still mowing the grass and just working to make this thing beautiful. And it's going to be nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So, yeah, we're excited to do it. What does the future look like for ATV motocross? I'm sure you're going to ask that question.
Yep.
We believe that from here, that you're supposed to go to Muddy Creek.
Yep.
Muddy Creek is not have the green light yet.
Okay.
But they suspect that the green light will be coming. Remember that Bristol Motor Speedway is a stone's throw away.
Yep.
And that they believe they're going to be able to get in there. But if not, perhaps we can look at going to south of the border.
Okay.
South of the border, we already changed its date to the fall. Certainly an option. We're looking at all options. We're looking at alternate racetracks.
Okay.
But you have to have a willing organizer, one that can put an event together to the caliber that you guys expect, that ATV motocross deserves.
Yep.
And there's risk involved. So, those are things that we're working on. There has been changes, and there will continue to be more changes, but it's our goal that we're going to get a substantial series in and get ATV families back racing just as we did, or as we are attempting to do here for GNCCs.
With GNCC. Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously a few things there. I mean, Aonia Pass, we're grateful to obviously that they're willing to have GNCC, willing to have us next weekend as it looks. And I remember being at Aonia Pass, a handful of years ago for our nationals there, and it was a beautiful place then. So I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful place now. So we're excited for that. Another thing too. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's this feeling that there could, like, things are going to be in flux. So you can't take anything right now as a concrete plan, but I mean, we're just excited. And I guess that was part of wanting to put this together and be able to hear from you, because I wanted you to be able to say, hey, we're working this hard to make this happen for you guys. So that's awesome. We can't thank you enough for all of your efforts, of course. So you talked about, obviously I was going to ask you if you had any speculation on what was going to happen for rounds to come. The most important probably question I had for you in this interview was for ATV National regulars, for people that have attended events in the past. What can we expect to be different relative to what we're used to when we get there next weekend, and what are the differences going to be throughout the weekend for us?
A lot.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of differences, and we'll develop a document for you that if you really want to go see the differences, go to gnccracing.com, and there is a document that we issued for GNCC families. But
okay.
Social distancing.
Yep.
When you first come in the gate, bring a pen with you.
Okay.
By next week, we may have online ticketing up. We're encouraging everybody to do everything over the internet. Money, cash is about the dirtiest thing you can handle.
Of course.
So
yep.
We have looked at every piece of our business, everything that we do. Every time, Cody, you had to sign something or hand us money or hand us a piece of paper, think about this a minute. When you've come into races, and I don't know how old you are, but you're 25, 26 years old, 27, maybe older.
Yep.
How many clipboards did you handle coming in a gate where you just took the clipboard and you signed it and you handed it back?
And it goes in the next truck. Yeah.
And it goes in the next truck until 40 people sign that piece of paper, and then another piece of paper is put on top of it, and it goes to, and so we only have 10 clipboards for one whole event. And just think of how many people touch that.
Right.
And in the day of cootie-itis, we're all, that's just, we don't want to do that.
Right.
So we got to change how we do things.
Okay.
Now, at least as of today, you're going to get a release form. You've been signing releases for years. You're going to get a release form where everyone in your car is going to sign it, hand it back to us. It's going to go in a box and won't touch anybody else.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, we hope by next week we have the technology to do all online ticketing. So you're just going to show your phone, we'll scan it, you're in.
Awesome.
Right?
Okay. Awesome news.
We're going to be giving you more than likely if you're a rider, we're going to give you some additional paperwork that you will come in, park, take that paperwork, fill it out while you're in your car.
Okay.
We've learned that if you do it in your car when you have time, it's more legible.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then you bring it back to registration and you hand it to us, and then we do that. Pre-registration will be key. That's going to eliminate some of the things we do at registration. Social distancing. We're going to park you a little bit further apart. We're going to ask that those of you that have been traveling together and living together, well, you don't have to social distance. You've been living with your family all this time, right?
Right. Yep.
And so we don't have to worry about that stuff. We do, however, when you get out into the public, you got to put your mask on.
Okay.
We're probably not going to have a podium. At the end of the race, we're going to send you back to your pit area, and then we will come to your pit area and hand you the trophy and do the interview in a private setting, without champagne. So that we want to do everything we can do to minimize the congregation.
Mass gathering type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I look out, I don't know, there's some bleachers here. More than likely our bleachers will be roped off and you can't sit in the bleachers.
Okay. Yep.
Our porta-johns are spread out. This facility has some real facilities and shower houses and so forth. And so it's in pretty good shape in that regard. There'll be hand washing stations and hand sanitizer stations here and there. But it is going to be different. We're going to call on all of our racing families to do the right thing and to really pay attention. We have to pay attention. We have to do what our document says you're going to do. And if we're able to do that, and we're able to document that the group of people can behave and that we can use the protocols and adhere to the protocols, then there's a good chance that we're going to be able to go to the next racetrack and the next racetrack. And the same way with GNCC. The GNCC is a much larger event, as you know.
Yep.
Instead of 400 riders or 600 riders that we may get from you, we'll probably have over 1,000 riders here.
Okay.
And the same goes for them. We all have to, this is serious. This isn't fun and games. It's nothing to giggle about. It's nothing to make fun about. It's serious. And if we want to continue as a racing family and do the things that we're passionate about, then we all have to do our part. And I can tell you that the men and women at MX Sports, I think that we've always demonstrated that we're hard workers. I don't think anyone can accuse us of being lazy.
No.
It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have debate, and we've had many. I've had debate with you and your family before, and I enjoy those debates. Those are good because good things come out of it. But these things are not debatable.
Right.
These COVID-19 guidelines are not debatable. We're going to do them.
Yep.
And if we do them, I believe that we will be able to continue to go racing. So if I could leave anything with your teams and your families is to let's take this seriously. Let's come in, be the organization that I know we can be. And this place is a lot of fun. Bring your bicycles. There's a pump track here that kids will love on their bicycles.
Okay.
Like guarantee it, we're going to end up with a mini quad race. And that's when that's going to go south really quick.
Of course, yes.
Those types of things just cannot happen.
Yep.
And so, I don't want to sit here and lecture you guys. You know how I feel. I am so blessed that we're able to go racing, and let's hope that we're able to keep this up and that things will go well, and that people in America and around the world will become healthier. And these numbers will go down, and that the people that are much, much smarter than you and me will come up with a vaccination, and then we can start getting back to normal life.
Yeah.
And that's my hope.
Yeah, mine too, of course. This is so much bigger than us. But yeah, I mean, listening to those words, Tim, the listeners here, the people that are going to the event, you got to take it as a challenge, right? You're challenging all of the listeners. You're entrusting all of the listeners, and it's it's a chance for those listeners to showcase how bad they want to race, because their behavior, their efforts and everything, like, we need to repay you for all of your hard work in making this event happen, and their actions. The next promoter, whatever track that is going to see how things went at Georgia and at Aonia Pass. And if they go well, hopefully we can go racing, but people got to be responsible. People got to be responsible.
And that's the key. You know what? You and I have a doctorate degree in COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's all we've heard about for the last 8 weeks.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
We know right from wrong.
Yes.
Now, there are people that don't agree with us. There are people that say, you know what, I just don't feel comfortable. It's okay.
Yep.
It's totally okay.
Yep.
Our company wouldn't do anything that we felt wasn't proper, and we've done the research. We've employed this Safe to Race task force with some really, really intelligent people that said, if you do this, then you can do that.
Yep.
And so that's what we're doing.
Yep. I think that, it's obviously a credit to you guys that you pulled all this off. I think that if people go about it the right way, and I always choose my words very carefully on this subject, because yes, there are people that take it very seriously and they have every right to do so. And you can't disagree with them taking that stance. But if you go about this the right way at the racetrack, you should be safer there than you are going to the grocery store right now. Honestly.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. So
I hope so.
Tim, I can't thank you enough for your time, your willingness to give us all this info. I think it's a great thing for our listeners to be able to hear before they get to the racetrack. You had so many good things to say, and I just wanted to know kind of the background on what all went into this, and then what people should expect when they get there. So you kind of gave us already your parting words. You gave us everything, the challenges and everything else. So again, I just can't thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for all your hard work in making this happen. Again, credit to you guys. Thanks to Aonia Pass for having us, and we'll see you when we get down there to Georgia. So good luck this weekend. Hope everything goes great.
Thank you. And it's certainly not me. There's a huge team that we work with. I just happen to be the face of that team.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to seeing you. And don't be a stranger. Call me, ask me to be on. I'm actually more transparent than you might think. So
yeah, again, we can't thank you enough, and we'll see you soon. Great stuff there from Mr. Cotter. He's a big deal. MX Sports Vice President and Event Coordinator. I wanted a chance for our listeners to hear what to expect at the races directly from the source before we ever got there. So we're super proud to bring you that conversation. After such uncertain times, for the first time in months, we finally have some clarity. It's great to know we're finally going to be able to go racing in a responsible way. The season opener is always an exciting time, but with these hurdles and everything that we had to overcome to make this happen in a safe way, I think it's safe to say that we're going to be more grateful than ever to be back at the races. If you remember, we were so hyped leading up to Daytona, and like caged animals, the field of pro-class racers is going to be ready and willing to send it now that they have the chance. We can't contain our excitement because we're going to get some answers and see how a number of these storylines will play out. Chad Wienen won Daytona and says he's the strongest he's ever felt. He'll look to stack success in Georgia. We all know what to expect from the reigning champ Joel Hetrick, who will surely be hungry to notch his first win of 2020. Thomas Brown led a majority of the main event at Daytona, but a late tangle dropped him back to 8th. He's stronger than ever, and you can count on him to be fired up. Jeffrey Rastrelli and Nick Janusa will both look to rebound from their DNFs at the Daytona ATV Supercross, both with their sights set on the podium. Brandon Hogue qualified second, won his heat race, but feel he blew the start and a chance to contend in the main. He's going to be amped up. How does Alan Myers follow up his first ever podium? Bryce Ford finished 4th in his debut. What does the rookie phenom have planned for his next act? The rest of the fast crop of rookies will look to impress, and so much more. We cannot wait to get racing finally. This is going to be fun in literally every regard. If you want a recap on our preseason speculation and what happened at Daytona, check out our archived episodes at diggingdeepatvmx.com. We have episode 17, our 2020 season preview episode. We have a Daytona review podcast featuring some of the event standouts, Chad Wienen, Alan Myers, Brandon Hogan, more. So check those out. Get you all pumped up before the racing starts in Georgia. You'll also find our most popular episodes to date on our website or on your preferred podcast provider, those being our Chad Wienen feature episode, the Pulp ATV Talk episodes, our shows with Doug Gust, Gary Denton, Joel Hetrick, and so much more. So there's a bunch of content out there for you guys to consume, either going to or coming back from that race down in Georgia. So, or in the time leading up, get yourself pumped and listen to our stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. So check those out today. Now let's go racing. We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. Before Digging Deep was even a reality, back when it was just an idea, CST Tires already believed in us, which is fitting because no one believes in their tires more than I do. Our title sponsor, CST Tires, and their Pulse MXR tires continue to hook every rider strong enough and willing to grab a handful of throttle after mounting them on their ride. Used by Thomas Brown to win races and clinch a third straight Quad Cross of Nations title, Nick Janusa when he grabbed his first career Pro Class podium, and myself, Cody Jansen, as I rode my Pulse MXR fronts and white label soft compound rears to a 2019 National Championship in the Junior 25 Plus class. The Pulse MXR tire, available in soft and standard compounds, offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. Visit CSTTires.com to join the CST takeover today, or prepare to be beat by someone who did. CST Tires, where passion meets the ground.
Anybody that I've gotten to try them, I've heard nothing but positive things back.
We're proud to be Team Blue Crew here at the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. Why choose Yamaha? Look no further than Chad Wienen's 6 championships in the past 8 seasons aboard his Yamaha YFZ 450R. Not to mention, Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing, and their support of this podcast proves it. For the 2020 ATVMX season, Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program will offer payout and prize opportunities, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more information, head to YamahaOutdoors.com and follow them on social media at Yamaha Outdoors today. All hail Blue Crew, the #1 OEM supporter of ATV racing. For over 150 years, Valvoline has led the charge by being dedicated to constant improvement and innovation across all disciplines of racing. Valvoline has sponsored some of the greatest names in motorsports, and for the better part of a decade, I've been fortunate enough to be part of the historically great Team Valvoline. From my commuting vehicles to small engines, race quads, and everything in between, I trust nothing but Valvoline in all of my equipment. I've experienced increased function and durability, as well as a longer life expectancy thanks to Valvoline's array of products and lubricants. Since 1866, Valvoline has been focused on bettering your experience, whether on road, on track, and everywhere in between. Upgrade to Valvoline today and check them out at valvoline.com. SSI Decals is a name synonymous with ATV racing, synonymous with big-time success, and absolutely synonymous with the best-looking decals around. An offshoot of their parent company that was established in 1947, SSI first took shape from owner Ian Harris's passion for ATVs. With what started as just making numbers and decals for riders like Chad Wienen, the company quickly took off, and today you couldn't imagine ATV motocross without SSI decals. The graphics maker and designer now supports all the top teams in ATV motocross, as well as teams and riders racing GNCC, Work Series, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Canadian Pro Motocross, short course off-road trucks, UTVs, snowcross, and, oh yeah, 6-time NHRA world champion Clay Milliken. No project is too big or too small for SSI decals, making your identity stick with championship-level graphics. Head over to SSIDecals.com today and then maybe call the doctor because things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is brought to you in part by DID Racing Chain and their 520 ATV2 chain. This patented X-ring chain boasts a steel alloy construction for reduced weight, increased strength, and a longer overall chain life, making it the optimal ATV racing chain. Pick up an ATV2 chain today at your local dealer or wherever DID chains are sold. Don't forget about their motocross, off-road, and street bike chains as well. wherever you go, go with DID.
Hello listeners, this is Chad Weenan, 6-time AMA ATV Pro National Champion, an owner of Weenan Motorsports and proud partner of Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. The two of us share a strong passion for ATVMX. Owning my own team gives us the ability to handpick the best products on the market for our racing program. With consistent testing, research, and development, we are confident that when choosing the products we believe in, our customers will be satisfied in building their own race program as well. We race what we sell. With brands like Fox Shocks, Walsh Racecraft, SSI Decals, Wrath Racing, and Hinson Racing, just to mention a few, go to check out WeenanMotorsports.com to see the full lineup. Enter discount promo code DIGDEEP at checkout. Enough talking already. Get out and get some fresh air and go ride. Hope to see you at the track soon.
We are proud to be partnered with Numira Technologies. Since 2001, Numira has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market, covering more applications than anyone else in the industry. Numira's advanced piston technology uses a NASA-exclusive aluminum alloy that helps to reduce expansion rates, that allows for tighter tolerances and leads to higher overall engine performance for your machine. For more information about Numira's wide offerings of pistons, rings, gaskets, and industry-leading top-end repair kits, visit your local dealer or online at www.numira.com. Numira Technologies, pistons with an attitude. We are pleased to be partnered with Bronco ATV and UTV Components. Bronco has been an industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. With a catalog that includes a full line of electrical components, engine internals like rods and cylinders, all the way down to suspension parts and bearing kits, Bronco is your hard part source for whatever you need for whatever you ride. Available exclusively through distributors around the world. Visit your local dealer or online at broncoatv.com. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is also sponsored by DP Brakes, a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology. DP has been dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheeled racers on the planet. 2020 is no different, with an impressive lineup including AMA ATV Pro Class champion Joel Hedrick and Phoenix Racing Honda Team, Cody Jansen and his 2019 Junior 25 Plus National Championship, Baldwin Motorsports, Nick Januza, Wesley Wolf, and much more in the ATV motocross. In GNCC Racing, DP has 16 of the top 17 pros heading into 2020. This includes the champ Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Chris Borich, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and more. These riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer, products that ultimately help place them on the top of the podium. Available at www.dp-brakes.com. Purchase at your local dealer or message us for the contact info today. What are you waiting for? Join the best ATV riders in the world on DP Brakes. Forworks Carbon's innovative lightweight products include top-notch seat covers, carbon fiber, and plastic hoods, gas tank covers, exhaust shields, shock guards, and much more. Whether you have an ATV, UTV, or snowmobile, Forworks has the goodies that will improve your ride and make you salivate. We trust Forworks for increased function and a sexier look, and you should too. Forworks Carbon, always working hard to bring high quality and innovative parts to the market. Check them out today at fwcarbon.com.
We are proud to be partnered with Gripped Gloves. Gripped is an ATV rider-owned and operated brand with the rider in mind and the goal of keeping costs affordable. The Michigan-based family operation recognizes riders' desire to showcase their identity. Owner David Payne's love for eccentric colorways and crazy patterns shows in his product, something not often found in the work of big manufacturers. Here to push stereotypes and limitations, Grip's drive is to produce a glove with cool colors and designs that won't break the bank. With comfort and quality as key motivators, the family affair is constantly working on the next more innovative and improved glove. Get a grip on life, join the Gripped movement, because no one wants a bland glove. Check them out today at grippedgloves.com, that's GRIPT gloves.com, and use discount code DIGGINGDEEP10 to save at checkout. If you were to guess, on average, how many days people in the U.S. have to wait to see a doctor, what would you say? Americans have to wait around 29 days to see a doctor in major U.S. cities. And if you're dealing with a condition like erectile dysfunction, you want treatment ASAP. That's why our friends at Roman have spent years building a digital platform that can connect you with a licensed doctor in your state, all from the comfort of your home. Roman makes it convenient to get the treatment you need on your schedule. Just grab your phone or computer, complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. If the doctor decides that treatment is right for you, Roman's Pharmacy can ship your medication to you with free 2-day shipping. You also get free unlimited follow-ups with your doctor anytime you have questions or want to adjust your treatment plan. With Roman, there are no commitments and you can cancel anytime. So if you're struggling with ED, go to getroman.com/digging for your free online visit and free 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/digging for your free online visit and free 2-day shipping. We are also proud of our partnership with Factory 43. Factory 43 was born in 2007, making Nerf bars for the Suzuki LTR, Honda TRX 450R, and Yamaha's YFZ 450. The brand soon added bumpers and grab bars, and for years now has offered parts for all sport quads. The racer-owned company strives to offer a quality product that installs easy, looks good, and holds up over time. For 2020, Factory 43 is the aluminum parts choice of the Phoenix Racing Honda team, providing riders like Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Chris Borich, and Grayson Eller with the motocross and cross-country versions of their Evo Nerf bar and MX-style front bumpers. Head over to factory43atv.com to see their full line of products. Thanks to Factory 43. We are excited to dig deep with the support of Bikes, Trikes, and Quads, LLC. Celebrating their 10-year anniversary this May, the company was started by former racers selling three-wheeler parts out of a barn in upstate New York. Through hard work, accompanied by offering great service to their customers, BTQ LLC now has over 40,000 new and used parts in stock. But they haven't forgotten their roots, still offering used OEM parts for three-wheelers, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides. Parts are in stock and ready to ship with delivery within 3 days, including free shipping on orders over $50. Use discount code ATVMX at www.btqllc.com for $10 off orders of $50 or more. We're grateful to have Bikes, Trikes, and Quads LLC digging deep with us. Support our industry's grassroots businesses. Thank you, BTQ LLC.
We are proud to be partnered with Avocado Green Mattresses. We all know that sleep and rest are an important part of any athlete's routine. Avocado's line of natural mattresses and pillows provide exactly the support you need to ensure you perform at your best while doing the best for the planet. The Avocado mattress offers zoned back support with an internal support unit, meaning whether you are recovering from a hard day of riding or relaxing on a Sunday morning, you will be experiencing next level comfort. You can rest in peace knowing the components in your mattress and pillow are non-toxic, natural, and sustainably sourced. And getting your Avocado Green mattress could not be any easier. They offer a 100-night sleep trial, free shipping and return pickups, and a 25-year warranty. And if that wasn't enough, rest assured knowing they have 5-star ratings by verified customers, including some of the Digging Deep staff. Step up your sleep game by visiting avocadomattress.com.
Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. And now let's jump right into our final guest of the night, brought to you by SSI Decals and their proven championship level graphics. From Evil Coffee Company, we are stoked to welcome owner Ross Dantonio to the podcast. What's going on, my friend? Thanks for coming on to talk about you and the company.
Oh, not too bad, man. Just surviving another day here in quarantine life. We got trying to work with the wife at home and her little daughter and a new one on the way. So things are pretty hectic, but we're making it work.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I think everybody's trying to adjust to a new normal right now for sure. So I can definitely agree with that. But super excited to talk to you, Ross, because, I guess to even give a little background, I reached out to you because, I just kind of stumbled across Evil Coffee and I thought it had the coolest content and branding. The vibe was great. It was kind of like, it just had me hooked. Right. And come to find out it was, kind of a past ATV guy behind the whole thing. And which was probably why we were on the same page without even knowing. So it was almost like happenstance, but it was pretty cool to see that you're behind this. And then when I knew that you were behind this, I wanted to get you on to be able to talk about it.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been it's been kind of a weird road. I'm not sure where this podcast is going to end up. Happy to dive into it. Tell a little bit of the history and some of the inspiration behind it, and the why we brought this thing to fruition. But it's been a super fun journey. I mean, honestly, I thought it was going to be kind of go in a totally different direction and be so moto focused. And then the more I started to dive into coffee and specialty coffee and flavor profiles and this and that and this and that. It's, no pun intended, it just bloomed. And it was just this super, super cool thing. And along the way, I realized that there was a niche that kind of, CC kind of started it. And then there's been some other people kind of doing some things, but I just kind of, the more, kind of started happen sense, and then it just kind of evolved into this own little thing and this little void that we filled. So it's pretty cool. You might have to stop me. I tend to fall down rabbit holes and just keep going and getting off topic. So if that happens, man, just reel me back in.
That's okay. That's okay. Cause like I said, I was excited to hear the whole story of it. So like I said, obviously as a coffee drinker and everything, like, coffee, I'm drawn to it to begin with. And then, like I said, your branding is so cool. And then it's kind of got a moto vibe and all these things. So just really cool. Excited to hear about it. But like I said, I mean, I'm already partial to you because you're an ATV guy. So let's start this thing off by, talking about your ATV career a little bit, because I remember you as like a prominent amateur when I was kind of coming through like the backside of the youth ranks. And like me, people listening to this are going to remember your name.
Yeah. And, I'm pretty stoked to see a couple of those little WPSA plaques on your back wall there. Those were the heyday of, I call it, our generation of, in the series. But I don't know why I got hooked on quads. Probably because Dad didn't want me ripping around on two wheels. Bought me like a 250X back in the day that didn't run, and I'd push it to the top of my hill and ride it down. We got that thing running, got a 400EX, spent all my savings getting a leg air front and PEP front end on the thing, started doing the fair circuit. I remember convinced Mom and Dad to drive me to Birch Creek, Virginia for the first national in a Suburban with a rain barrel for a power washer. My toolbox is in the back of the thing. And we got snowed out of our main on Sunday. It snowed, so they canceled the main. So we just had Friday practice and qualifying. And I was devastated that we had to drive home through the snowstorm and didn't get to race. But it was such a cool experience. I believe that's when the NAC semi was still a big thing, So you're rolling through the pits, you see in the NAC semi. I think my sister saw Creech in the parking lot. She was freaking out about that. And then, it kind of tried to convince Mom and Dad to, hey, can we go to this race? No, too far. Then I got the bright idea that if I got my sister racing, it would be this family thing we would do together. And then my odds of attending every round would significantly increase. And I was right. That's totally what happened. So got my sister racing a little bit. And then, each year we started attending more and more races, getting to know, everybody, as well as I do. It's just a big, not just ATV racing, off-road motorsports in general. It's just a big family. So,
absolutely,
we got family all over the country, not just friends, family all over the country. And that's just what we did. I on the spot here, I can't remember how many years we raced. I think I retired, in quote, from racing somewhere around 13, 14.
Okay.
I was going to college full-time for graphic design, decided I should probably finish college. And then toward the end of that, I had a custom graphics company that, I was a college kid. I didn't know how to run a business, but having your friends owe you money at the races for graphics while they getting new engine work done, that just kind of sucks a little bit of the fun out of it. So I didn't get burnt out. I just needed a little bit of a break. And then obviously running 2 seasons of nationals and WPSA back to back. That was just killer.
Sure.
It was just, it definitely wears on you.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's kind of in a nutshell, the ATV racing background. And then, I don't know where we want to take it from here.
Yeah. So what level did you make it to? Did you make it to like Pro-Am and stuff in your?
If you consider giving the promoter money to enter Pro-Am, and you qualify because there's not more than 40 dudes on it. Yeah, I was Pro-Am, man, totally.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember, and I'm only asking because I remember I would have probably swore maybe in like 08 or 09 or 2010 maybe or something, like we would have been in the same classes and maybe like some of the regional ones around here.
And some of the some of the pro-am, and like I was pretty much 2 seasons in everything. 2 season C, 2 season B. A was kind of where things started to wear on me. I didn't have a practice track. The only time I got to practice really was Friday before qualifying.
Sure. Yeah, that's a
The
killer. Yeah, because I have this conversation with people all the time too, is like we do this because we love it and it's so much fun. And then there are people that fall into that exact same category, and then they only can practice at the races. And then there's so much pressure around this whole racing thing that some of that fun kind of can be zapped out of it if you don't just get a chance to just go enjoy the riding part.
Right. And that's kind of where Evil Coffee came in. I was very fortunate enough to work my ass off promoting, honestly, but got a little bit of help from Polaris during their stint, got a little bit of help from KTM in their stint. And about 3 years ago, I sold my KTM, which I was really hesitant to do, but I did it. I bought a dirt bike just because dirt bike practice is way more friendly at moto tracks around here. And I wanted to go ride trails, what I grew up riding. And you can't do that on a low 50-inch wide moto quad.
No.
So, I bought a dirt bike, and like you said, I've been having a ton of fun just getting back to where it all started. Now I kind of want to go build like a 310R for the dunes.
Yeah.
And just get back to having fun with it.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear, because I think for a lot of people, it comes like full circle like that, where you go from the pressure to then you kind of like are over it. And then you kind of like start to get the feeling again. And then it's like kind of full blown where you're like, yeah, I need to get back into it. So that's really cool. It's also cool that you bring up the KTM, because I think that is the image that I remember you like from was just the KTM. And I thought I even read like an article maybe of you in the KTM. I don't know if you're riding like an indoor or something, but I
got hooked up with Pellin and Adam Clark and another pro-am guy up there. And we did a video session test with Ran Jam. And it was cool. It was cool.
That's cool. It was just for whatever reason, the KTM, you and the KTM was what was burned in my mind. So that's really cool. So then kind of connect the dots, because you started to mention that Evil Coffee started there, and you did the graphics thing. And so kind of just connect me the dots from, you ending your racing career, doing college, doing the graphics thing. Then how do you get to doing coffee of all things?
Yeah, so like I said, little burnout, if we want to call it that, from racing and traveling, competing. So finished my degree in graphic design, and then this is when social media was kind of starting to take off for brands. And I sat down and I was like, well, what do I have to offer? How am I going to get a job? So really, what I wanted to do is I wanted to advise athletes on how to utilize digital marketing, social media to promote themselves, because I was like 3 years ahead of where every athlete is at right now.
Right. Yep.
Back then I was trying to convince people, like, you don't have to wait on Trans World Motocross to call you to get a cover. You can go hire your photographer, figure out if you're going to post, what's your post quota? Once a day. All right. You need 30 high quality photos. You need 30 posts. If you're a professional and this is all you're doing, first Monday of every month, go have a photo shoot with your brother, girlfriend, wife, sister, mom, dad, whoever.
Yep.
And stockpile your marketing content for the rest of the month. Any amateur racers out here, free information, do this. And then at the end of the month, send all of your sponsors an email saying, hey guys, this is how many likes, this is how many clicks to your website from my website I got. So any racers out there, take this, do this. Trust me, your sponsors will love you for it.
Yes.
Pretty much that's what I wanted to do, but it was just kind of too much ahead of its time. So sorry. Rabbit hole.
No, you're fine, because that's like you said, that's really good information, and it's stuff that people need to hear. So great information. So keep going.
So I kind of got out of the moto scene, and I found an awesome long-term client in the wakeboarding industry. And so for the past 6 years, they have pretty much been my exclusive client. I've been handling all their digital marketing, helping manage some of their photo shoots, some of their content, things like that. And Evil Coffee started because I was aware of all these, I don't want to call them digital marketing tactics, but opportunities, for the Facebook pixel, you know, retargeting ads and things like that. And my clients were unable to take advantage of these opportunities because of budget, because of content caps, because of athlete management situations and things like that. So I just started Evil Coffee as a purely creative outlet where I didn't have to run anything up the ladder for approval. Honestly, it was also created because I could experiment with my money, my budget, and I could report back to clients and say, hey guys, this is what's working for me.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to experiment with client money and have, you know, and I'm facing it right now. Like, I know the amount of work that digital marketing needs to happen in order to get this brand where I want it. So I've reached out to a couple, you know, social media marketing firms, and they're like, oh yeah, it'll be, you know, $2,000 a month for us to experiment and figure out what ads work best for you. And I was like, well, I can't afford that. So we're just going to play the long, slow game. But, you know, I don't want to do that to a customer, because all of these massive brands, whether they be in, this is just me speculating, whether they be someone as large as Dunlop or as large as, you know, probably Honda, and those are much bigger budget, but, you know, any of these really large brands, you know, whether it's in the moto industry, the wakeboard industry, any industry, it is a lot of time and effort to run social promotions. And most companies don't have their marketing and sales aren't interconnected as well as they should be. One hand isn't talking to the other hand. And unless you are running a digital marketing campaign with a specific return on investment identified, you're wasting your money. There's no reason to be boosting posts, no reason to be paying for this advertisement, unless at the end of the day you can say, yes, this sale of Shift Bloodline gear, because I'm going to use them as an example. They did an awesome promotion with that red track, and it was just iconic. They ran it for like a month, and it's like, all right, I'm pretty sure they're connecting the dots of the sale of this gear to this ad spend. So when I'm working with a client, I want them to be able to make that connection. And if they can't make that connection, it's a waste of money for everybody all around. And, you know, it sucks. Like I'm kind of a trust no suits kind of guy, but, you know, we do need money to make this sport turn and to make this sport grow. And it's not an ATV versus MX thing, you know, like again, I'm going down a rabbit hole, you know, like let's bring the UTV guys in. We need everybody's dollar to support the national trail systems, to keep tracks open, to grow more trails and things like that. You know, we all need to really come together, you know, no pun intended, but a rising tide floats all boats. So that's where I really want to help people, you know, bring their marketing to their sales so they can grow, so they can pay to do an old school moto movie or something like that. You know, It's these fun things that brands aren't doing anymore. You know, like it's awesome that Fox just released all their terra firmas. But it'd be even awesomer if there was a terra firma 12 or whatever, you know, that came out that they did or something like that.
For sure.
Sorry, rabbit hole.
No.
Evil Coffee was created for this creative, you know, splurge of fun.
It's awesome. It makes so much sense too, because again, like, I mean, Evil Coffee like spoke to my soul, because like I said, I'm a coffee guy. I'm a coffee lover, of course, but you know, then I find it and it's got this moto vibe on the packaging and the content. And then I read one of your posts and it reads something like, you know, I like my coffee how I like my Sabbath, black. And by this point, I'm so hooked. And it makes so much sense that like you're just able to just let your creative mind go and do whatever you want with the content, instead of, like you said, having to run it up the ladder. And I mean, as you know, those things are slow and those things are tedious. And, you know, maybe, you know, there's a certain message that you can't send, but when it's your own brand, you can do whatever the hell you want. And I just love it. So that whole story makes so much sense to me.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So like I said, I've been drinking the coffee obviously for, I don't know, a month and a half or something, and loving it. And you know, obviously personally, I want to support somebody that I know is in the moto industry, that I know is an ATV guy and in an ATV, you know, kind of moto brand, at least in the past. But, you know, I guess I wanted to give you some of this exposure because I knew that you would be able to talk right to the moto people that are listening, but tell my listeners why they should choose Evil over the competitor.
Way cooler.
Yeah,
No, so
absolutely.
in all seriousness, we are specialty coffee. And until I started Evil Coffee, I didn't know what the hell specialty coffee existed. I was like, oh, let's start a coffee company. Google private label coffee, and I got some coffee in from Seattle. Seattle's awesome coffee, right? And like, thank God my wife, she came down one day because I was so stoked. I was like, honey, this coffee, it's cheap. They'll put my logo on it, and we've got a coffee company. And she's like, it smells like hell. And I was like, it's all right, coffee. And then I'm like, you know what? No, if we're gonna, like, I was super anal about my race bikes. I think I only had one DNF in my whole career because I snapped a chain. Like, I always loved the way my bikes look to represent my sponsors. Always had to go above and beyond. So it's like, you know what? No, if we're gonna start a coffee company, it's literally gonna be the best damn tasting coffee my wife and I have ever tasted, and my friends. And so that's what we did. We started. The more I researched, we are not roasting our own coffee yet, and I have no problem saying that because it's like building a house, right? Sure, you can build your own house, but that first windstorm, your roof's coming off.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
by luck of the draw, went through a couple roasters, and I found this fabulous coffee roaster locally in Columbus, Ohio, about 20 minutes south of us, named Brioso Coffee. And they really opened my eyes to what coffee can be. We worked together to select the blends that work best for our brand. We got some fun stuff coming up in the works. Obviously, this whole coronavirus thing put a pause on a lot of things. But those guys are absolutely phenomenal. And we are specialty coffee. What the hell does specialty coffee mean? One bad bean, whether that bean be overcooked, be a little bit rotten, be a little bit too dry in the batch, can throw off the entire taste of a pot of coffee. So specialty coffee, consider it like VP, like it is high test, highly refined fuel, literally, for your body, for your morning ritual, whatever spin we want to put on it. But It starts at the source. It starts at our coffee farmers, who my roaster has a phenomenal relationship with. And it's only selecting the best beans to go through the drying process. And then we meticulously roast the beans and then package it up and just kind of ship it out. So, good vibes, damn good coffee, good vibes, premium coffee is kind of our slogan, but it's really more than that. It's specialty coffee, and really the best way to describe specialty coffee is just time spent with the bean, time spent on the product. It's literally, there's a hand touching it every point of the way. A gloved hand, coronavirus scared people.
Right.
But like it is literally a hands-on process the whole time. And obviously you can attest for it. That's what you experience when you pour a cup of it. So
of course, I mean, like, your coffee was exactly what I wanted it to be when I got it. And, obviously you can't say it because it's like your own thing, right? So you try not to, to talk about yourself that way, but
right.
It was exactly what I was hoping it was going to be, because we've all had coffee and it's like, coffee's coffee. And that's not how yours was. I mean, like you said, the smell was good. The taste was good. And again, it wasn't like I was just having some, I mean, we've all, like, I get sent coffee, right? Like, people in the past, like, people want me to try stuff and talk about it and whatever. And yours was so much different than that. So then to have it be good, have the branding be cool as shit, have your whole content and all the stuff on social media sets you apart to people like me and people like us. And then like to hear your backstory again, like, all that's so cool. So talk about your line. So how many different coffees do you offer right now? Is it like a handful?
Yeah, so it's a light, medium, dark.
Okay.
And literally medium is a blend of our light and our dark. I mean,
Okay.
it's all Costa Rican. Our light was a Guatemalan, and we found it a little bit too acidic, a little bit harsh. The Costa Rican is a little bit more robust, a little bit more flavorful. My wife can't drink coffee traditional coffee without creamer, flavored creamer in it, things like that.
Okay.
She prefers not to drink our coffee black, but she could. She feels it's that smooth. It's that, and that's the dark. And our dark isn't this burnt thing. It's just a little bit more chocolatey, a little bit more robust. I use the term robust a lot because it's that flavor that kind of sticks around and lingers a little bit more. It lets you enjoy it.
Absolutely. It's funny because, and you're exactly right, because I started roasting it, and then the rest of my family, grabbed some coffee one day, and my dad said to me, he's like, hey, like, I haven't been using creamer, or maybe I noticed he wasn't using creamer or whatever. And it was because of your coffee. So that's funny, because we didn't even tell the story to each other, and it's the same kind of thing. So what about, you talked about future things. I mean, is it an expansion of flavors and lines and stuff like that? Or can you give us any more insight into that?
Yeah. The big thing is by the way, everyone, sponsorship is open. I'm not doing this thing, at least right now, where it's sponsorship season in the fall. If you guys send us a resume, literally it's me. I'm packaging, roasting, marketing, building the website, maintaining everything. So, and we're having a kid tomorrow at 9 a.m. So things are even delayed a little bit further, but, I want to give back to everyone as much as we possibly can. I remember, I'm sure you were the same way when you got your first sponsorship acceptance letter in the snail mail with like 2 free stickers in it. It was like a 5% discount, and you were like so stoked. I want to give back to people, and we've been getting a ton, where this is going, we've been getting a ton of like mini requests for sponsorships. And I'm like, these 7-year-olds aren't drinking coffee, it's their parents, which is totally fine. I want to help families out. But I feel bad the kids don't have anything. So Whole Shot hot chocolate is on the way. Gourmet hot chocolate,
nice.
Or chocolate milk mix is on the way for those, after moto treats. We've got some samples in. It's awesome. I just haven't, with our second daughter on the way and everything, I've got my artist on hold who does my labeling, my packaging. But I hope to have that out before the middle of summer. So that's on the way. We've got an awesome cold brew. We're just kind of waiting to see if there's a bottling or canning option, because the way it's produced, once it gets above a certain temperature, it's skunked. So like it has to be shipped and kept cold. So we're waiting to see if there's anything we can do around that.
Okay.
Additionally, just offering beans specifically for cold brew brewing as well is something that we're on to. But apparel is coming as well. I've got the designs in the laptop, just haven't gotten my printer yet. Apparel, more stickers. Maybe what I'd love to do is just, I want to do some mugs and stuff, but like I want to do something tangible. Like most people don't need to buy another freaking coffee mug. Like, I'd love for you to rock ours, but like I want to do a little notebook that's like a ride log, where you can log your rides and log your suspension settings and log your gearing settings, and
that's
something
cool.
you can keep in your toolbox and stuff like that has a tangible value.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Big old school guy, big authenticity guy. So we don't want to produce random crap that's going to end up in the landfill someday. We want to produce things that are going to be used and appreciated and hopefully handed down eventually.
Absolutely. I mean, you're just trying to set yourself apart, which is kind of in line with the whole rest of your brand and everything else that you're doing. Awesome stuff. So the even talking about the chocolate milk, hot chocolate thing, chocolate milk is my favorite, like hot chocolate too.
We'll get you some your way.
Oh yeah. So, and I think, they say that chocolate milk's so good for recovery. So, I mean, you're onto something there. I like where this is going. So the last thing I want to ask you, is about because as soon as somebody sees your page, they're going to be like, oh, this is gold. Right. So, where do you get the motivation for the content, the little kind of ads you put out, and it's almost kind of like some of them are one-liners and stuff like that? Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know if this podcast is ever going to make it to a YouTube channel, but just kind of my office. It's either when I'm out walking my dog every morning, or I'm in the shop working on bikes, or I'm just sitting down in my office. Sorry to piggyback that's one more thing I do really want to offer. Evil Coffee started, I was like, oh yeah, the marketing, we'll just do like Cam does and rebuild dirt bikes and four-wheelers and like be YouTube awesome and market. And it's like, no, like I feel like I'm doing all of our customers a current disservice because I don't have the time to create enough content about brewing the best cup of coffee. And anyone out there who wants an internship or wants to work for some coffee could definitely use some marketing help, hands-on content creation. But I want to get some more content out there to help people brew the perfect cup of coffee at home, on the road, at the track, because it's way better than Starbucks or the gas station stuff.
Absolutely.
Circling back to where the ideas come from, I don't know, man. It's just
you.
Everything.
It's you then. That's what you're saying. It's you.
I'm sure you've seen it on social channels. It's like what we're listening to that day. Mm-hmm. It may be Wanda Jackson, it may be the Cramps, maybe Social D, Beasties, who knows? It's just everything that I'm constantly consuming. And, when people ask me what my job is, I'm a professional fun haver. That was the name of my marketing brand, was Have Fun Media. It was,
okay.
I just want to have fun. I want to, and we are all doing what we are doing because we enjoy it.
Yep.
If you're in the water sports industry, you should own a water sports company because you enjoy water sports. Tom Carlson, my old motor builder, that man loves building engines. He loves making things go fast. Mark Baldwin loves making things go fast. We as athletes love to go fast. We love to take chances. We love to see success. So that's kind of where everything stems from. It's just wanting to be the best, have the most fun. That's really it. Just
that's
have
awesome.
The most fun. Have the most fun.
It's awesome because again, I was partial to the brand even before I knew the backstory, and then to even just hear you talk and the passion and the enjoyment and all that stuff. Like, it's just it's what you want to hear. And somebody who, like, when you're supporting a company, you want to hear that the person behind it has all that passion and love and good vibes behind the scene like you do. And you referenced the coronavirus and all that stuff going on a little bit. And you've been doing your part to help the frontline workers during this pandemic as well. So just touch on that before I let you go, because again, it's just another reason why we should support such a great brand.
I appreciate it. And so what we're doing, when this whole coronavirus thing hit, it's like, holy crap, how's this new company going to survive? It's not even a marketing ploy. We have a friend at our CrossFit gym who's a nurse, and seeing it's not the crap that they have to deal with every day, but just the struggling work environments. My brother-in-law is a police officer, and hearing the stories that he helped with, I was like, coffee fuels all of us. It fuels us racers. It fuels doctors, nurses, fire department. Heck, it's fueling grocery store workers right now trying to restock toilet paper for our asses, literally. Right. So what we're doing right now is we are offering basically coffee at our production cost. And for $15, you can purchase a bag of coffee. We're utilizing the Racer X Deadline brand that we have. It's a little bit darker medium blend, a little bit more punch to it.
Okay.
You can buy a bag for those on the front lines. So you can go to our website, evilcoffeecompany.com. I'm pretty sure it's on our homepage right now. And you can, for $15 a bag, you can buy as many as you want. And we will deliver a bag of coffee to someone on the front line of this things. Right now, we've just been working with local, I think we're at like 25 or 35 bags so far, and it's probably probably April 1st, so almost half a month we've been doing this thing. We've got the local fire department, we've got the local police department hooked up, we've got our local hospital double hooked up, bringing some bags to the delivery to the nursery room here tomorrow. And then we want to reach out and, we have an advertiser. We're like going to start hooking up grocery store workers and stuff like that. But there's no reason that like literally anyone that is still working, that is a legit essential job in these times, deserves some awesome coffee. And 100% of the proceeds are going to the production cost of the coffee and the distribution cost of the coffee. As of right now, we've been delivering as much personally as we can versus shipping it, because that allows us to put a couple more bags, in those people's hands versus paying for shipping. And right now we're working locally, distributing it to those in Central Ohio. This thing gains traction nationally, regionally. We'll address that once we grow to those heights. But for right now, it's just helping out those in Central Ohio that are battling this thing day in and day out.
That's awesome. It's just awesome to hear you kind of trying to give back. And it's almost like I have nothing to add. I think it's just such a great thing that you're doing. The way I see it, it's like, as even moto people, ATV people that are going to listen to this, like, you're going to drink coffee. So why not drink, a cool ass, badass, like, moto guy brand? Like, it's just no brainer to me. Right. So, but again, like, unless you have anything else to add, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I can't thank you enough for fitting us in before, you add, on to your family. And, I've been wanting to get on for a while to talk about, the company and fill kind of myself and our listeners in on your background. So, I just got to wish you the best, keep up the amazing work, and stay safe and healthy out there. Again, for me, a moto, coffee brand backed by an ATV guy, you don't got to say anything more than that. So you got me. But so you mentioned it once. Where can my listeners find all the good stuff that you're doing, and where can they find your brand?
evilcoffeecompany.com is our website. The socials are eluding me right now, at Evil Coffee or at Evil Coffee Company on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yep.
Again, guys, sponsorship is open. This is not a ploy. It's not, the discount is substantial. Send your email, send your resume. If you don't know what a resume is, Google it, add a couple photos. We love to see, and it's not to have us market ourselves. It's for us to market you to our micro following but hopefully in a few years it'll be larger. But, thoughts, questions, random comments, words of encouragement, ross@evilcoffeecompany.com is my email. Like I said, we're delivering our second daughter tomorrow, April 17th. I'm not sure when this will air. So if anyone hits me up and you don't hear from me for a couple days, don't take it personal. We're taking care of some family stuff over here, but we will get back to everybody for sure. Just might be a couple days.
Yeah. Well, again, I can't thank you enough for fitting us in and coming on tonight. The people that listen to this are going to be as hyped as you and I are as soon as they see your content and then taste the coffee. So I'm excited to kind of bring your brand and yourself to my listeners. And again, I can't thank you enough for everything and for your time tonight, pal. We're wishing you all the best. Stay healthy, stay safe, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, man. Let's do it again at the end of the season and do a wrap up.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much. Man, I love my Evil Coffee, and you will too. Support a former ATV racer, and we're also happy to report that the newest little member of the Dantonio family is now here, and both mom and baby are happy and healthy. Congrats to the entire Dantonio family on the newest addition and on all the success. Let's all support Evil Coffee Co., and you're going to fall in love with the brand when you check out their IG page. It's gold. Big thanks to Tim Cotter for coming on as well, of course. The idea of getting him on to give us a heads up on what to expect at the races was awesome. So on behalf of the entire ATVMX community, thanks to Tim for his time. Thanks as well to my producer, my brother Dallas, who always finds time to fit the podcast into his busy schedule. Thanks, Dallas. Couldn't do it without you. Thanks, as always, to Brooke for all she does for the podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, of course, CST Tires, Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew, Valvoline, SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Wienen Motorsports, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Gripped Gloves, Blenders Eyewear, Mountaineer Brand, Avocado Green Mattress, Roman Health, Factory 43, Bikes, Trikes, and Quads, LLC, and Oats Overnight. Support the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. You can find all of our episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsor links and discount codes, our show merchandise, and more all on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com. So check that out today. The show is available to anyone and everyone, whether on diggingdeepatvmx.com, or you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Basically, wherever you find podcasts, you'll find the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. I mentioned our merch, and it's been selling like crazy. Show your support for the #1 podcast in ATV racing by wearing our apparel. By now, you probably have seen the addition of our new Digging Deep hoodies. Purchase on our website today, with all proceeds going directly towards constant growth and improvement of the show. Thanks for all the support and for wanting to represent what we're doing. The gear is really nice looking. If you enjoy the show, we encourage you to donate via Patreon if it suits you. Simply visit our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com, and click the Support on Patreon button. This contribution will help prompt continued growth and improvement of the show, and perks will be available to those who contribute, including hearing your name on the show. We greatly appreciate the support. Want to be part of a show like this? Be sure to utilize our voicemail line. Call us with your questions, topic suggestions, business inquiries, a rant, or anything else you want to make known. And that number is 920-569-3519. That's 920-569-3519. Call us anytime. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen, for behind-the-scenes content and insider info at the races. It's time, guys. It's safe to race, so let's go racing, and we'll be back to talk about it afterwards. You know I love the screenshots showing that you're listening, so send those in, and I promise to keep sharing them. It's a simple and effective way to help spread the word. Be sure to subscribe to the show, give us a rating, tell your friends, share our posts, wear our shirts and hoodies. It all helps spread word about us while growing the sport that we love. With that, for Tim Cotter, Ross Dantonio, Dallas Jansen, Brooke Catherine, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen. Thanks for listening to the #1 podcast in ATV racing, 1 million downloads and counting. Until next time, thanks for joining us in Digging Deep with the Stars of ATV Motocross.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then at Steel City.
I would need to check this out.
I'm dead serious. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
It's not easy, Steve. It's not easy.
Listen, JB, I don't want to hear.
It's not easy.
I don't want to hear.
Quad dudes are freaking gnarly.
You don't chew Big Red. What the?